Welcome to today's video. Let me ask you something. What if I told you there's an object crafted over 3,000 years ago that once held the very voice of God? A golden chest said to part rivers, destroy cities, bring armies to their knees, and then vanish. No smoke, no fire, just gone. I'm talking about the Ark of the Covenant. And tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey through time, war, religion, and legend to try and answer one simple question. Where is it now? The story begins in the Sinai Desert, somewhere around the 13th century BCE. The Israelites, newly freed from Egypt, wander under the leadership of a man named Moses. They're tired, lost, and desperate for a sign. And then, on a mountain called Sinai, Moses disappears into clouds and fire. When he returns, he carries commandments, etched by the hand of God himself, and along with them, instructions, divine blueprints, to build an object unlike anything on earth, the Ark of the Covenant, made of acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold. Its lid, called the mercy seat, was flanked by two golden cherubim. But this wasn't just a container. It was a throne, a dwelling place for the very presence of God. Wherever the Israelites went, the Ark went with them. When they crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land, it parted. When they marched around Jericho, the Ark led the way, and the walls crumbled. Some say it emitted fire, others say it could strike people dead just for touching it. In the book of Samuel, the Philistines capture the Ark and immediately suffer disease and death. They return it, terrified. This thing had power, unfathomable, untouchable power. Eventually, the Ark found a home. In Jerusalem, King Solomon, son of David, builds a magnificent temple and places the Ark in the inner sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, a room only one man could enter once a year. It stays there for centuries until disaster strikes. In 587 BCE, the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar invades Jerusalem. The city is razed, the temple destroyed. But here's where it gets strange. The Babylonians kept meticulous records of their spoils, gold, silver, vessels. But not once is the Ark mentioned, not even in the Bible's own list of items taken. No one knows what happened. It's as if the Ark was never there. And from that moment on, it disappears from the historical record. So where did it go? Well, that's where things get interesting. Let's start with one of the oldest ideas. 1. Beneath the Temple Mount. Some believe the priests foresaw the attack and hid the Ark deep beneath Solomon's temple. Secret chambers, carved tunnels, hidden vaults. But here's the problem. The Temple Mount is one of the most sensitive religious sites on Earth. Excavating beneath it? Politically impossible. If the Ark is there, it's buried under centuries of silence. 2. Elephantine Island, Egypt. Others point south, to Egypt. Specifically, Elephantine Island. Here, archaeologists have found evidence of a Jewish temple. Yes, a temple dedicated to Yahweh. Some speculate that fleeing priests smuggled the Ark down the Nile, establishing a sanctuary far from Babylon's reach. But the island temple is gone now, destroyed. And if the Ark was ever there, there's no trace. 3. Ethiopia's bold claim. Now, let's talk about the boldest and maybe the strangest claim of all. In the city of Aksum, Ethiopia, a small ancient church stands behind iron gates. Inside, a single monk lives in seclusion. His life is devoted to guarding what the Ethiopian Orthodox Church claims is the Ark of the Covenant. They say it was brought there by Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. It's never been seen, never opened, but the people believe. Every year, a replica is paraded through the streets. The real one, locked away, guarded day and night. Skeptics scoff. But the story has persisted for over 1,000 years. Could it be true? 4. The Vatican Vaults. Then there's the theory that the Ark ended up in Rome after the Romans sacked Jerusalem in 70 CE. Did they take more than just gold? Some believe the Ark, if it had resurfaced by then, was taken back to Rome and buried in the Vatican's secret archives. And if you've heard the stories about the Vatican's vaults, well, you know how deep that rabbit hole goes. 5. The Knights Templar. Now we step into the shadows. During the Crusades, the Knights Templar established headquarters on the Temple Mount. Some say they discovered the Ark, or its location, and took it back to Europe. From there, the trail runs cold. Scotland, France, even Nova Scotia. Templar secrets have a way of becoming legend. But the question remains, were they just digging for riches, or something divine? At this point, you might be wondering, was the Ark ever real, or was it symbolic all along? Some scholars say the Ark was a metaphor, a way to embody the presence of God, tangible in a time before faith was abstract. Others believe it was destroyed, lost in fire, in war, in time. But still, the stories persist. There's something about the Ark, its mystery, its danger, that transcends time. It's a symbol of divine power, of lost truth, of something bigger than ourselves. Whether it's buried in Jerusalem, hidden in Africa, or resting beneath a church in Rome, we keep looking. Why? Because maybe, deep down, we want it to be real. We want to believe that something sacred survived the chaos of history. Today, the search continues. Explorers with ground-penetrating radar scan the deserts of Jordan. Historians pore over ancient scrolls in dusty archives. Pilgrims travel to Ethiopia, staring through locked gates. No one has found it, but people keep looking. Because maybe the Ark isn't just a box of gold. Maybe it's a reminder of a time when humanity stood face to face with the divine. The Ark was never meant to be found. It was meant to be followed, to inspire fear, faith, wonder. Because the moment we stop searching, that's when we lose the mystery. And mystery, my friend, that's the real power. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know. Where do you think the Ark is now?